What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. Bit of a different video today. I'm talking about kind of my theory on what these new single strike and rapid strike mechanics might be that are coming out in Japanese PTCG products soon, and also the new V-Star trademark that you may have heard about. So kind of theorying out what they might be and kind of what I hope they could be, talking about game design a little bit, and if that's something you might be interested in, then stick around for that, and I hope you enjoy it. Before I start blabbing about card design, shout out to PhotonStore.com, the best place for you to get PTCGO codes. Use code Celio for 5% off. No video camera today. Still trying to work out getting my newer camera working. Also, it's like 1 a.m. when I'm recording this, so no camera, just talking to y'all. Chill video today. Two things I want to shout out, or actually three. So pokebeach.com we'll be using today. I'll also be referencing PTCG Radio and PokemonTCG.io. It's just something I'm using to look at this Bumblebee. So the V-Star trademark. Pokebeach reported about this a few days ago. New V-Star trademark has been filed by Pokemon. So in the past, they trademark set names. It says here they trademarked TCG mechanics, and they even trademarked the fairy typing of Pokemon. So I think some of the mechanics they've trademarked in the past were like GX, Tag Team, V, VMAX, Break, Legend. So those kinds of things have been trademarked in the past. More on that in just a bit. And the next Japanese sets we're getting are Single Strike Master and Rapid Strike Master. Now, something really interesting, this is just like one of the things, like one of the marketing things from Japan about Single Strike Master and Rapid Strike Master that's coming out in January. PTCG Radio, I'm not sure the source of this translation, but from on this marketing thing, you'll see there's 1, 2, and 3. There's kind of like 3 bullet points. Now, one of those, PTCG Radio said, translates to something roughly this. This set will feature new Pokemon items and supporters with single strike and rapid strike spec or specialty or whatever that would be, further expanding these two playstyles. So that really caught my eye. I didn't realize that there was information out there saying that this was going to be on trainer cards. I heard about single strike and rapid strike on Pokemon, and you know, maybe it will be something like Omega Barrier, like is on this Bumblebee. You'll see the Omega Barrage. It was on Bumblebee, notably, on Primal Groudon. It was this thing that's not an ability, it's not an attack, it's just an attribute of the Pokemon that doesn't get turned off by anything. Bumblebee's allowed it to attack twice. Primal Groudon's made it so it wasn't affected by trainer cards. So that seemed like something very in the realm of possibility coming with Single Strike and Rapid Strike. But watching Ross's video here and seeing that this translation reads Single Strike and Rapid Strike is also going to be a thing for items and supporters, and the way this blurb is talking about it, further expanding playstyles, that got me really interested. So I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of mirrors the Omega Barrier and Alpha Barriers or whatever they were called. Omega Traits, sorry, I don't know why I was Omega Barrier is what Primal Groudon's is called, but yeah, the Omega and Alpha traits that these Pokemon had. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like that, but I have a Google Doc here where I've written some ideas, so I just wanted to talk to y'all about that. Why don't we zoom in on this Google Doc? You can read ahead if you like, or you can just follow along with me, but these are some ideas that I've jotted down about this topic. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Urshifu VMAX have this kind of attribute, this trait that's not an ability. Single strike, the damage from Urshifu VMAX's attacks are not affected by any effects on the defending Pokemon. That seems like something super in the realm of possibility. Wouldn't be surprised if it's like exactly that. Then the other Urshifu VMAX Rapid Strike, this Pokemon may attack twice a turn, basically just mimicking exactly what this Bumblebee has. Again, I wouldn't be surprised. But Could Single Strike Rapid Strike bring a mechanic similar to GX attacks that can be used once per game? This is an idea I had that got me pretty excited to think about. So introducing new counters and mechanics is not out of the question, but it is done sparingly in PTCG history. What if we had something called a strike counter? We had Imprison counter and Shock counter back in the Dragon Frontiers days. Of course, you know that we have Poison and Burn. We had GX counters added not too long ago, but GX counters are no longer a thing anymore, so it's not like we have all these counters cluttering up the game. But what if we had something called a strike counter, where once a game, you could activate your strike counter to activate the single strike or rapid strike attribute on one of your cards, being either a Pokemon or a trainer, since according to this translation that I heard about through the PTCG radio video, trainer cards are supposedly playing into this single strike and rapid strike as well. So what if we're getting cards that have single strike or rapid strike just printed as like an emblem on the card, and something it can do, but you have to use your strike counter. You have to flip this counter in order to activate that. So whether it be a trainer card that says, rapid strike, you can replay this trainer card, or after playing it, it comes back to your hand, but you have to use your strike counter to activate that. Or like on Urshifu VMAX, single strike, the damage from this is not affected by effects on the defending Pokemon, but you have to flip your strike counter to activate it. I think that would be amazing. It would give us more decision making again back into the game, which they took away from taking away GX attacks, and also there's just less decisions now in the game because there's 3 prize Pokemon speeding up the game. But I'll kind of talk about that a little bit more when we wrap this up. The next idea, or the next thing I want to talk about, is how will single strike, rapid strike work with trainers? I did start talking about it a little bit, like what if we have a strike counter? We can only do this once a turn, or once a game. So my thought was single strike or rapid strike could maybe be instant speed cards, or also known as cards that are played either on your turn or your opponent's turn. So if you are not familiar, there was a card called Power Spray back in the SP era of the game. We'll just scroll right on down here to Pokemon Platinum and find Power Spray. Here's Power Spray. So you may play this card during your opponent's turn when your opponent's Pokemon uses any Pokepower. Prevent all effects of that Pokepower. So that would kind of be like an instant speed card, something you can play on your opponent's turn. We haven't had something like this for a while, and they have simplified the game greatly since the Platinum era of the game. But I would love to see that return. Another idea was cards similar to tag team supporters that allow you to discard for extra effects. Again, I think this would be a very realistic possibility, since it's something we just recently saw at the end of the Sun and Moon era, and tag team supporters never got to be adventured. Like the design team made tag team supporters once for one set, and then never again, because we went into Sword and Shield. Kind of like back in Dragon Frontiers when Imprison and Shock counters were made, and then that was the last set of that era that Japan designed, because EX Power Keepers was actually primarily designed by the North American branch, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so like kind of bring tag team supporters back, but call them Rapid Strike. I could definitely see that happening. Again, I think the design is kind of limited right now because they've introduced 3 prize Pokemon into the game, and they've been into the game for a little while now, and until they're out, I think we're kind of limited in what we can feasibly have in the game without it getting out of hand. Like, if attacks were doing less damage, then multiple Pokemon being able to attack twice a turn wouldn't really be that big of a deal, because you could just make their attacks weaker. But then if they're too weak, the Pokemon won't even be played. Or if it's a rapid strike thing, they can only be used once a game, like I'm theorizing about. they might not even be strong enough to be played. So I do think, just in general, as you will know if you're a frequent watcher of this channel, I just really hate that they would make 3 prize Pokemon, but we're not going to make that whole video about that. But it really limits the design capabilities and where the game can go, in my opinion. So the last one I wanted to talk about was V-Star. If you're not familiar, yet again, an old mechanic as Star and Shiny. We can go here and look at Jolteon. I'm not positive what set it's from, but Jolteon Star right here. Is this Power Keepers? Yeah, it's Power Keepers. So Jolteon Star. You can't have more than 1 Pokemon Star in your deck. And also, this Jolteon Star was a basic. And that's how stars worked. They didn't evolve from anything, and you can only have 1 Pokemon Star in your deck. Now, that doesn't mean 1 Jolteon Star and 1 Mew Star and 1 Rayquaza Star. It's just 1 star Pokemon in your deck. Now, I'm not sure if they would do that with V-Star. I kind of was thinking more along the lines of you can only have 1 copy of that card. Again, something similar to Prism, which they did very recently. You can only have 1 copy of each Prism in your deck, but you could have multiple different Prism cards in your deck. I think that's something they would do. It keeps it simple, and the way I look at it, I just think they try to keep it as easy to learn for new, younger players. And if players already learned about Prisms, and they would kind of keep some of that same knowledge and carry it over to V-Star Pokemon. So I'm thinking 1 copy per deck, and it's worth 2 prizes like a normal V, but it just has something special about it, something a little stronger. So maybe it's like a V Pokemon, but it's like between the strength of a V and a tag team. Still worth 2 prizes, but you can only play the 1 in your deck. I think that's really likely. Something I would love to see is it goes on top of a V Pokemon, like a level X or a break. So, like, if you had Urshifu V, and then instead of Urshifu V Max, you had Urshifu V Star. It went on top of the Urshifu V, but still only worth 2 prizes, and it gets a slight buff in HP and attacks, but you keep the previous abilities and attacks, just like a level X Pokemon or like a Pokemon Break. I would personally love to see that, because evolutions it's good for the game. It slows it down, and currently our evolution portion of the game is Pokemon VMAX mostly. At least for the attacking Pokemon, it's mostly Pokemon VMAX, and like I said, 3 prize Pokemon just isn't good for the game. It's not fun. It makes the games over fast. It makes it much more simpler, more simple, and yeah, I think it limits the design aspect. So hopefully we'll see V-Star be something worth 2 prizes at the most. Hey, maybe they'll go back to 1 prize Pokemon. That would be awesome, but I don't think we're at the point where the new flashy mechanics can go back to being a 1 prize Pokemon if they want it to be like played and like meta changing. But yeah, so these are kind of my ideas about the cards that will come out in Single Strike Master and Rapid Strike Master, and about the new V-Star trademark. If you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you think might be happening with the Single Strike and Rapid Strike mechanics, and what we will be getting out of this whole V-Star thing. I'd love to hear about it all and what you think about my theories on this, and let me know if you like these kinds of videos where I kind of just talk about theories and card design and stuff like that. Not necessarily one of my Celio rants about card design episodes, but more of those to come as well, for sure. So hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe if you have not already for daily Pokemon TCG content. Leave a like and a comment for the algorithm. Check out PotownStore.com for all of your PTCGO needs, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.